back. Glad to have you back on News Night. We're joined now in the studio by our Director of News and Politics Editor. He's just returned from a 2-week holiday. Sambo is going to be analyzing all the latest developments within the APC. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Sambo.
Thank you so much.
Right, like Tolu said, you're back on a high. Hope you enjoyed your holiday.
Yeah.
Right, so let's talk about what's happening with Adamu Abdullahi. Is he being punished for not supporting Tinubu? Is that what this is really all about? Or all these other allegations of financial impropriety and what have you? And then the question as to whether Adamu Abdullahi really resigned or not.
Well,
hanging in the air.
Let's start from the last question you asked. It's certain right now that Abdullahi Adamu has a reason why he's insisting that he wants to see President Bola Tinubu before he speaks on it.
Absolutely.
And that's because the APC itself doesn't have this letter to present to us. And Yola Omishore, the National Secretary, who is said to have resigned, was at the APC National Secretariat today.
And he was shut out, according to reports.
Well, he entered the meeting, but he didn't stay that long.
Right.
So if he had sent in his letter of resignation, what was he doing at the APC National Secretariat? And why would he want to be part of an emergency National Working Committee meeting? And why would he now say that he was wondering why Abdullah Adamu, the national chairman, was not there? If both of them had submitted their resignation letters.
Yeah. So the question,
so many questions.
I mean, so many questions. And let's go back to the first one you also asked. The reality here is that Abdullah Adamu, yes, there are infractions that he may have committed one way or the other, but I had expected a response from him when Saliu Lukman, National Vice Chairman, had raised a critical point sometime last week to say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as candidate of the APC, never got 1 naira from the party to contribute to his presidential campaign.
Right.
So why didn't we have the National Secretary, Yola Omishore, or the National Chairman quickly pointing us to a direction as to whether the party officially contributed monies to the presidential campaign of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as it's supposed to be, or not? If they didn't, what happened to the funds? And why has there been this consistency from the National Vice Chairman, Salih Lukman, on these issues of transparency? And then the issues Abdullah Adamu will come on air to come and say also is that he has never heard of Saliu Lukman. I would totally disagree with him, because this same Saliu Lukman contributed to the exit of Adams Oshomole that gave room to the emergence of Memalabuni's caretaker committee that eventually birthed Abdullah Adamu. So why would Abdullah Adamu in an exclusive interview with Arise say he has never heard of this man other than the letters that he wrote? Yes, you have this party politics. Yes, there are issues that have arisen, but I have thought by myself, as someone who has watched Abdullah Adamu for over 50 years of playing politics in Nigeria, that he would have resigned, because he's always, putting himself out as a very principled politician that can dare anyone. And go and find out from Obasanjo. Himself and Tinubu were governors between 1999 and 2007. And during National Economic Council meetings, I mean, both of them usually sit close together, because after L, you have N. L is for Lagos, and Tinubu was Lagos State Governor, and N is for Nasarawa and Abdullah Adamu. So they were always joking mates, and they were some of the persons who stood up to challenge Obasanjo's policies here and there. So these are not people that, I mean, fair weather politicians that you can push aside. But a lot of issues have happened, and the issues are real, that Tinubu doesn't really want to have an Abdullah Adamu in that position. But what of Yola Omishore, who is an associate of Tinubu? Well, you know that when something happens to one other person, who happens to be a twin, there's a likelihood that it will also sweep the other.
Unintended
Yeah, I mean, political sacrifices here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean,
if you like.
Yola Omishore has to go, but I'm telling you that he will bounce back because he belongs to the same political family. And it was the same Tinubu that paved the way for Yola Omishore to emerge as National Secretary of the party.
Okay, is it beginning to look like a script that this will be made to happen when the president will not be available? Because it's beginning to look like a well-crafted script, especially when we can't hear from either of them.
Yeah, I mean, Tinubu wanted these people out. It's very clear. I've spoken to a lot of sources, people close to him. He wasn't comfortable, but he was also a smart politician. I mean, a strategist. You've seen how he has been patient with Abdullah Adamu. Abdullah Adamu created the room for all of this. I mean, from the statements he made, he was trying to present himself as someone who played the CPC school of politics during the Buhari government administration. And after the exit of the Buhari administration, where he, coming from the PDP, supported the CPC wing of the APC, he should have known that when the ACN wing comes into power, they would want to have their own national chairman. Adams Oshomole is the one who helped to stabilize APC the more. He spent more time there because of the likes of Tinubu and their contributions to the APC, Baba Bisi Akonde and all of that. If you take a critical look at the APC national chairman, from 2015, when Odige Oyegun came into power after Bisi Akande had left, you will discover that the APC has been led more by ACN wing of the party. The ACN knows how to play party politics more than the CPC, and they succeeded at that. And you could see that Tinubu has a way of sending a message. And the reality is that the body language of Tinubu had already gone out, especially when Abdullah Adamu said he didn't know that there was a list of principal officers that had been made known to the National Assembly leaders. And so it was very clear to everyone that something was going to go wrong and something will have to give way. And Tinubu wanted others to speak the language for him. And that's why you could see that it was when he was outside of the country that the pressure came in much. And Saliu Lukman has always tilted towards the Tinubu school of politics. So most times when he started some of those letters right from April, saying that, look, there should be a new direction in the APC before the president-elect is sworn in on May 29, I think that should have been a signal to many of them, the National Working Committee.
So now that it seems that Mr. President Tinubu seems to be having his way all the way, whether it's in who emerges as a President of the Senate, Speaker of the House, Principal Officers, and now, you know, he's having his way as to who should be the national chairman of the party. What exactly does that tell us?
It means we are trying to build strong men rather than strong institutions. And I understand it here. Remember, I had warned here that my problem with Tinubu coming in as president is not that he won't be able to govern very well. That my only major fears is that he may build a one-party state. And that's where we're heading to now. And Tinubu should learn from what Barack Obama has said while visiting Ghana, that if you build strong institutions, it helps even when you are not there. A lot of people who built themselves rather than build institutions, who are out of power today, are facing the challenges that come with, you know, building yourself, you know, with people who just keep trumpeting you there. Because when you're no longer there, the institutions won't fight for you. This is the time for Tinubu, as someone who has stayed outside and was called as the national leader of the party, to reorganize the party. I'm thinking that, well, it may look like he's trying to reorganize the party, but from the trajectory you have just laid in place now, Tinubu, in trying to promote himself as someone who is very skilled in the issues of politics and strategy, may end up boxing himself to be seen from the position of an autocrat who gets everything that he wants. And in democracy, you cannot always get everything you want. If the president keeps getting everything that he wants, then we are no longer practicing democracy.
I mean, I remember him saying you can't get everything you want on a la carte, you know.
Well, power is not served a la carte.
We have to go, we have to leave it here.
It's in CPC as we wrap up. For how long are they going to keep that dichotomy before they properly integrate?
Yeah, I mean, it will take time. You see, political parties evolve over time. The APC is an amalgam of different political parties. They need to win power and stay more for about 8 years before they totally integrate. That's when the ACN wing would have shed off its weight. The CPC wing has shed off its weight right now. And so what is left is those who haven't really tasted so much of power, like the NPDP that came, which has been liquidated, and then you have the ACN wing. After this, if they are able to do 4 years or 8 years, you see that the ACN will gradually go off with the CPC. But I can tell you right now that we must be careful in what is happening. The APC should learn from the faults of the PDP. If you tend to be having your way as president always, and you have people who can tell you no in the party, no in the National Assembly, no everywhere you go, then it means that even the president is being set up for failure.
We have to look at that. Thank you so much. Sambo, there's no better way of putting it. And welcome back.